Dear friends, my name is Dr. Igor Atabekov. I'm clinical oncologist practicing since 2010. The winter is coming and this is the season of different viral infections. That's why let's talk about how can we improve our health, how can we improve our defense against viruses, not to get sick. So let's get started. If you search in Google about prophylaxis of viral infections, it will tell you about vaccinations. Vaccination is when you put the piece of virus or the whole virus which is killed or it's very weak, and it will train your immune system, train your specific immune system to produce T lymphocytes or to produce antibodies against exactly this virus. But we are talking about improving your health and immunity in general, because if your immunity, non-specific immunity, is strong, the virus won't have chance even come close to the place where it will infect your body and make the infection start and make the specific immunity be in need to train against it. And I will give you 5 components which I think are very important to improve your defense mechanisms. We know that immunity is very important for our survival, for our well-being, for protection from everything that is foreign to our body. And first, what we need to do, the first of 5 components, is mechanical barriers. That means the health of our skin, health of our mucous membranes. Mucous membranes, for example, here in the respiratory tract, they have cilia. These are small villi that will move to remove their foreign agents. Also, there can be mucus, which also helps to protect our mucous membranes and make a barrier. And to improve the function of these systems, we need to keep our air humid. That's why, especially in winter, when we have a heating season, the air may be very dry. That's why it's better to buy the device which will measure the humidity. Normal humidity must be from 40 to 70% in the room. That's your goal. Maybe you need to buy a special humidifier or make the mopping of the floor more often. Also, you need to open the window sometimes and get new air into your room. Ozonation or ultraviolet are not very important for home use. It's more for hospitals or some public places, for maybe very dirty rooms, but mostly if you just want to make your room clean, just open the window for a few minutes and do the cleaning. Next, physicochemical barriers. For example, if we spill acid onto the bacteria, it will die. The same happens in our stomach, because it has acid barrier. It kills bacteria and helps digestion. If we have low acid, then the bacteria may grow there, and patients may have bloating, a lot of gas, maybe pain, nausea, sometimes it can be heartburn. You can see the pieces of undigested food, for example, in feces. Some of these symptoms. Or even you can have a lot of mucus produced. Sometimes people have a lot of mucus and they don't know that the reason is in their stomach. That's why you always need to work with the health of gastrointestinal tract. Of course, you need to do investigations if you have problems to know the cause. For example, it can be Helicobacter that makes the stomach inflamed. The chronic gastritis may become atrophic, and the atrophic mucus of stomach cannot produce the acid anymore. Sometimes, for example, you need to kill this bacteria, or you need to take the acid, this is called betaine chloride, or take spices, for example. Also, you can work with your respiratory system. Do the breathing exercises, for example, Wim Hof exercises, or there are plenty of other. Just train your breathing system, your lungs, your diaphragm. And eat correct food. About it we'll talk about a little bit later. Next, third component is your lifestyle. You need to keep your body rested. You need to sleep enough. You need to do physical activity. You need to do maybe struggle with your stress, because stress really affects the immune system. You need to maybe do yoga or relaxation, meditation. Also, cold shower may be a good opportunity to train your organism, your body, because this is called controlled stress. Controlled stress is very beneficial for health. The other component of our immunity are the cells. Complement system, interferons, and cells like natural killers like phagocytes, macrophages like T lymphocytes, like B lymphocytes. And in order to produce these cells, to make them mature, to function well, you need to give components for your body, for your immunity. Of course, these are vitamins, these are minerals, these are, for example, proteins, amino acids. I would advise to check vitamin D levels. If it's low, then maybe supplements of vitamin D plus vitamin K2 may be needed, because vitamin D is very important for immunity. I would say levels from 35 to 50 are enough. And also, there are some food products that contain a lot of components necessary for immune system. What are these components? Vitamin C, vitamin D, vitamin K, zinc, selenium, copper, iron, calcium, magnesium, also melatonin, acetylcysteine, quercetin. And after doing analysis of foods that contain most of these above mentioned components, I can say that if you eat meat, eggs, nuts, green leafy vegetables, cruciferous, seafoods, citrus fruits, garlic, you may already give most of the components needed to your body. And sometimes you may need even supplements, especially during infection when you already caught the cold. For example, it will be quercetin or N-acetylcysteine or melatonin, maybe medical mushrooms like shiitake, reishi, maitake. And I was talking about, for example, kistal hindi. It's an Ayurvedic remedy that you mix in the oil. Indians usually use ghee oil, especially if you have a dry cough, if you have dryness in your throat. You can use oils or syrups. If you have a lot of mucus, everything is very wet, or if you have high temperature, you can use honey, for example, with this kistal hindi. Also, you may need to take supplements of vitamin C or zinc. Drink a lot of liquids. Also, if you have too much mucus and maybe not enough acid, you may think about spices like ginger, like cinnamon, black pepper, curcuma, maybe garlic. I never take any antiviral drugs or interferons because their effectiveness is a little bit, I would say, doubtful. And also I always have symptomatic local remedies like different sprays or tablets just to improve their sore throat and kill a little bit the viruses that are there, to decrease inflammation there. What food increases the amount of mucus? What you should cut down if you have too much mucus, especially if it's very sticky, it's staying here, and if it stays, it's like a swamp. The microorganisms will reproduce there. This is everything cold, fatty, sweet, like, for example, milk products, cottage cheese, different cakes with cream, ice cream, jelly, anything containing yeasts, like bread, like cookies, like beer yeasts, and some fruits, for example, melon or persimmon, bananas or pears. Also, you must cut down potatoes, rice and corn. In some cases, you may need the consultation of the doctor, so he will check your lungs, check your saturation, and make a decision if you need hospitalizations, because sometimes the patient must be hospitalized and needs more intensive medical care. But in most cases, no antibiotics are needed and no hospitalization is needed. If you have bacterial infection by streptococci here in the throat, in your tonsils, you need antibiotics, otherwise you may have complications on your heart or your joints. But in most cases, no antibiotics or hospitalizations are needed. So again, first, the hygiene of your room. You must always get fresh air, mopping and humidify your air. Next, normalize your gastrointestinal tract and acidity. Third, sleep enough, do physical activity, do breathing exercises, struggle with stress, and cold shower may be good for some people. Fourth component is diet, enough vitamins, minerals, fats, proteins in your food. And fifth component are additional supplements. Mostly they may be needed during their acute infection. Dear friends, that's all for today. My name is Dr. Igor Atabekov. See you in the next videos. Bye-bye.